Hey, hello. Welcome to Deaf Woke. I'm thoroughly excited about today. I can't hold back. We have so much to share. So much on my mind, so much on the spirit that needs to get out with my friend today. But before we start, I want to acknowledge the land I stand on, Ohlone, the land of the indigenous people, the land that was unceded from the Ohlone people. I want to honor the indigenous community. I also honor the home of the Black Panther. They valued the community. A plethora of opportunities of movement, power, resistance to the people. I am Antoine Hunter, known as PurpleFireCrow. This is my name sign. My visual background: I have a dark red curtain. I have a gray with yellow embroidery. It is #DeafWoke. I have milk chocolate skin. Got it from my mama. I have an ebony bushy beard, locks tied back. I'm mixed with Cherokee, Blackfoot, and African American. I am honored to be here with you today. Today, Thursday, April 22nd, 2021. I'm thoroughly excited to talk about our guest. Her bio, short and sweet. So our guest today, Alexandria Wailes. Whew. She's an incredible person. She received a 2020 OBE citation for sustained excellence as an artist and advocate. She received a Lucille Lortel nomination for Outstanding Featured Actress in a Play for Colored Girls. That at the Public now. She's performed on Broadway as an actress at Deaf West Spring Awakening, Big River, which was a Tony honoree for ensemble. Now off Broadway, she was a playwright for Horizons, I Was Alive With You, A Kind of Alaska. In films, you can see her in the Hyperglot. In TV, you can find her on Law and Order, Criminal Intent, High Maintenance. Should I keep going? She has it going on. She's not only an actress, she's a director of artistic sign language. She's been in several revealing on Broadway. She's been on stage. She revealed the Broadway's Children of a Lesser God and King Lear. She's a proud member Of the Quantaco? She's an amazing individual who's coming here to share her story. Now, before I bring her on, I want to introduce our interpreters. Come on. Who are they? Hi. Say hello to Franchetta. Say hi to Jay. I want to say thank you for your service, for being here today, supporting our community. Now let's go on back to Alexandria. I want to show you her reel. All right. Interpreters, come on back.
What time did you get here, Malia?
I got here at 9 a.m. The door was open, and Dr. Mallory was on the floor.
She's mad. I got that.
Larry's gonna be so pissed at me.
Where were you two?
After the cast party, we went for coffee. We talked all night.
About the implant.
Yes,
How late?
he walked me home about dawn.
How'd your boyfriend feel about that?
Tommy doesn't know. He was with Didi, his cousin. There was a party for her new baby. Please don't tell him about Larry.
Then Tommy is going to need to confirm that you were not with him.
I wasn't. Please don't tell Tommy. It will only make him worry.
Your alibi doesn't make Larry look innocent. It makes you look guilty.
What?
Mallory knew his killer.
Hold on. Wait, slow down. Slow down. I can't. What is she saying? She's freaked out. She's saying she'd never heard Dr. Mallory. And, something's wrong with our communication. She thinks we're misunderstanding her. She's asking if she should get a lawyer. You didn't have to kill him.
Tommy. You know you won't lose me. I love you.
Love you.
23-year-old female, her dad's a cop. She makes in the glove compartment.
Hi, honey. My name is Jackie. Are you allergic to any medicines? You okay? You okay?
We met here at this school. My father didn't want me seeing him. He wanted me to be with someone who's not deaf. My father told me and Tobias he didn't want deaf grandchildren. We argued. My father hit me in front of Tobias. He hit me 2 times.
Was Tobias present?
He came to save me.
Does it hurt you to see Tobias here?
Yeah.
So it would hurt to see him go to prison.
Yeah.
If you had that operation, would you be able to hear?
Yeah.
But you didn't want it. Why?
It's my choice.
Where were you all day?
Just walking around. Just so many people. My signal was bad.
Hey, but I told you where I was.
You didn't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You have no idea what it's like.
Wow. Chills. Everyone, take your time to breathe. Now, please, welcome Alexandria Wailes.
Hi, everyone. Hey.
Welcome to Deaf Woke. How are you?
I'm honored to be here. Okay. I look a lot happier now than I do in the real. I was very upset, but I do want to take a second to acknowledge where we are. I'm here in New York City, and I want to acknowledge the original people who preserved this land, the Lenape people in Manhattan specifically. So I want to honor them. And thank you, Antoine, for inviting me to be a part of this.
I mean, really, it's a big honor. You have done so much. That bio does not do it justice. Everything that you've done, I've seen. I remember the first time I heard about you being in New York. You know, I was dancing. It was the pop
Yes,
festival.
I remember. I think that's where we first met. Yeah, I remember.
Before, yeah, you know, dancers, actresses, actors, and people. I never didn't hear about you. And you know, wow, you know, during that time, you know, you
Yeah.
being on Broadway, doing jazz.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes, exactly that.
I was, wow, what a professional dancer you were. You know, I was so excited because how you kind of, your careers have just taken off. I mean, it's out of the world. You know, as a child, did you already know that, you know, you were going to become an actress? Did you already see, did you already envision that? An actor, and a dancer, a choreographer?
Okay. Well, let's start with humble beginnings. Okay. So basically, when I was about 2, 3 years old, the doctor encouraged my parents. After my parents identified that I was deaf, the doctor said, you know, why don't you just teach her how to sign? Teach her. So I was very fortunate, and I acknowledge that. A lot of hearing families don't have that kind of support, and I did have that kind of support to teach me how to sign. So they taught me how to sign, and I went into speech therapy. They put me in dance classes. So I learned how to dance, how to sign, and learned English all at the same time. So when you're exposed as a young child to so many different experiences, it will be embedded in your mind. So in a way, that sort of predicted my future. I'm used to that kind of hustle and bustle, and I'm used to those various types of experience, and I'm able to just go with the ebb and flow of things. I feel so blessed on so many levels. When I was young growing up, dance was my life. I continued dancing, and I stopped about from 8 to 12 years old, actually 8 to 11 years old. And then I picked it up again. And the reason why I did that was because my identity as a biracial woman, half Black, half white, I never fit in. And people always bullied me all the time, deaf or hearing. I mean, Latina, it didn't even matter. I was always bullied. And with my family being hearing and no one knew how to sign, my mother and my father, my sisters, they knew how to sign. So I was able to communicate with them. So I found peace in dancing. And it was a way where I found myself, and it saved me, to be honest. I know you, Antoine. Come on, Antoine.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
I know. We talked about this before. It gave me an outlet. But I was also able to disconnect on things that were so challenging in my life. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's other way to communicate with the world. Way to communicate with yourself. Discover yourself through movement and dance. Yeah, you mentioned, you know, at a young age, you were exposed to sign language and kind of, both of those, dancing and sign language is the visual world.
Exactly.
Being exposed at a young age. It's a connection to communication, a connection to expression. So you did ballet, right?
Yes, I did ballet.
You got to be disciplined. Woo.
Yes, it was no joke. I think that's why some people will probably perceive me as like, okay, Alexandria. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's the discipline. And I started early. And I was, as a young child, I said, you know what, it's good to have the freedom and creativity, but it comes from understanding the foundation of that discipline. So once you get it, then you're more free. Then you feel that freedom for sure.
So you already know that to get it, you got to work for it, right? The movements, the technique, and life is the same concept. Applying it to deaf cultures, even if no one's going to give it to me, so I got to make it happen.
Exactly.
Now, you'd mentioned you being biracial. You didn't seem like you didn't have lower expectations.
None. And again, I'm really fortunate. Both of my parents gave me so much love, and I feel so fortunate for that. Did I predict that I was going to be a dancer, a creative person, an actor? No. But that voice inside me, my parents were always so supportive. There was a few times in my 20s, I was like, oh, maybe I should just do something else, like have another career, because I felt so frustrated and I confronted so many challenges, and my parents were like, no, you're an artist. And I was like, whoa, okay. Thanks for that boost of confidence.
It's interesting, the irony of that. Most of the times, you get from society or parents and family that, put the artistry away.
Right. They always say, go to law school, go be a doctor. And they didn't do that. They could see my future. They could see what I had inside me. They saw my light and they wanted to encourage that. And, trials and tribulations, it's a part of your journey. It won't just fall on your lap. You have to work for it.
Honest, when I saw you dance, there was no word to express that what you were doing. It was just incredible. The choreography, the movement, the energy, the heart and soul you put into it. And you kind of applied the same application to acting. Turn it in, kind of cueing it. When Miss Washington spoke about, the kind of code switching, that switching into character. So that brings me into this next question. What about training? Where did you get your training from?
Well, for acting, technically the only acting official school was at Deaf West Summer School prior to that. And after that, so I have this philosophy that every time I'm working on a project, my secret thing is to basically just feel the people in the room. I study them and I think about why they're so talented, and I just analyze them. And because of my background in dance, it really gave me the ability to study, to analyze body language and understanding the deeper meaning to it and understanding the psychology behind body language, how we breathe, how we move. If you do this specific movement, what are you trying to say based on that body language? When you do this specifically, there's so much information that's being displayed on your body language, and I use that as a guide when I would analyze characters. So those are little things that I've picked up over the years, where I've studied and analyzed body language.
You're not just, it's not just the art. You're assessing, analyzing. You know, you're a solution. You find solution in problems, and you apply that. But where did you get your dance training from?
Where did I go? Is that what you're asking? Okay. Well, I grew up in Delaware, in the northern part of Delaware. So I belonged to a Delaware dance company for a few years. And then I went to Maryland School for the Deaf for high school. Then I stayed in DC. Then I went to the University of Arts in Philadelphia. Yeah, and I got a BFA in modern dance. But in high school and college, I did attend every summer an intensive dance program, like the North Carolina School of the Arts, the university over there, and the Alvin Ailey Summer Intensive Program. I participated in that. I did a lot of ballet training in Vermont. So I've been around and I've kind of immersed myself in those experiences.
Those places are not easy to be
Oh
accepted.
no, definitely not.
Yeah, not easy.
And right now I'm like, oh, whew, I can feel it now. The work I've put in, I worked hard.
I mean, you got in this, you got in that, you got in that. You know, I mean, we're being immersed in deaf culture. Was it something? You know what I noticed is those who are involved in this and that, they tend to be the only deaf person. You know, being the only deaf person. I even Alvin Ailey Summer Intensive. Where's everyone else? You know, did your parents kind of they already involved in the deaf community?
Well, so I will say again that I was very fortunate. When I went to the Alvin Ailey training program, the intensive program, I did it twice with a good friend of ours, Mervin. So we went the same summer, and it was so nice to have that kind of support system in New York City. You know, we were teens and we were just like, you know, having a good time that month. But a lot of the times I was alone. I was the only deaf person there. So my parents were really encouraging and supportive to my dancing career. But I know you did ask me earlier if I saw myself as an actor as a child. I did everything I could to elevate myself. I willingly sacrificed some time. You know, I spent some time in the hearing community and I spent some time in the deaf community, but I still felt very isolated. You know, the biracial kid, I felt isolated. You know, I'm a deaf kid, but I also enjoy dancing. So there's a lot of intersectionality within my being. So my journey, I had to think about looking at the bigger picture. And it's important to keep your friends, your loved ones, think about them, and also think about what you want in the long haul. I knew I wasn't interested in staying in Delaware. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to travel. I wanted to meet new people. I wanted to just take everything in and learn more about life.
You know, I hear you say, my eyes hear you say, you know, as a child, you know, identifying as a deaf child.
Yeah.
Did Alvin Ailey, did they provide access?
No, none.
So how did you make it through that? How was the communication, the access? Or was it, you know, what was that like?
Okay, I'm about to age myself. Okay, so you went there, Antoine. Thank you. So in the 90s, so this was before email, okay? I attended before in the 90s before email, okay?
Me
Showing my
too.
age.
Me too.
So yes, back then we used TTY and all those technical devices that we used.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, you remember. But so because it was dance, there was less communicating. There was more communicating through our body language and movement. It was really challenging. It was so weird because I felt the most confident in that space, but I also felt the most isolated. So it was really like such a contradictory experience.
I love how you're involved in so many things today. A lot of deaf community doesn't want to be involved because they don't want to feel isolated. They don't feel like they want to be they're not part of something. But I know it just didn't matter. You bring people along, my brothers, my sisters. You said Melvin.
Yeah, Melvin.
He's not a partner. No, it was your partner in crime. It was everything. You guys did everything together. Your support system. That's rare to have.
Oh, yes.
Also, having the acting roles. I saw you in Law and Order. You broke out. How do you feel about all of the roles that you got? Were they, did they challenge you, or were they kind of the same?
So I think that as human beings, we go through waves, different phases. Early on in my acting career, it was a general scope of the deaf female who can either speak or who can only sign. And it's often something traumatic that happened to that character. So that was the role that I often played. I saw that pattern and I said, okay, you know what? Sometimes we need to realize that the story that other people are seeing compared to what I'm looking at and analyzing the character, I want to let that character be what it needs to be. So I'm very lucky to have been given that opportunity to roll up my sleeves, think about, analyze, connect with the character, and connect with other actors and figure out who are these people.
Based on assumption, there's so much more information to the roles.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But you can dance, you can act. I wonder if you did you ever fight the role that was perceived?
Oh yeah.
I know it's easy that you can do anything. I mean,
Thank you.
Accolades after accolades. If you wanted to become a bird, you kind of have that face, where you can transition and appear young or older.
That's very sweet of you. So what you're saying about the stereotypes, yeah, I mean, it does exist. We can't ignore it. But what I also try to do is to put myself in a role and hope that I can plant a seed for the writer, the director, to be more aware of the next time that they do work with another deaf artist. So when I go into a role, it's with the intention of, I'm excited because I got the role, but I want to think about all of these brilliant artists, my sisters, my brothers who are out there, and making sure that I leave that door wide open for them to do what they need to do. And I think we need to do that by creating our own stories more. And that's why I decided to start writing more. I realized, I was like, wait a minute. Ooh, we need more rich and interesting characters. It's needed. We need interesting people, not two-dimensional people about the world that deaf people live in. So it was really something for me as a writer where I just, okay, who are the people in my world? Who do I see in my everyday life? They need to be, the characters that I see need to be out there. We need to acknowledge those type of people. And then for me, it was just like, how do we do that? How do we implement that?
Broadway, off stage, on stage, TV, dancing. But what's been your favorite character?
My favorite character, I have to pick one. One. Okay. So I have a few highlights in my career, and I'm fortunate to be able to even say that. For acting is definitely For Colored Girls at the Public Theater, because I worked with an amazing, brilliant group of artists. And because of the choreo poem that the author had created, and the women that were a part of it and their stories, we took in our past stories and our present day stories, and we looked at the writing. We felt so connected to it. And from that experience, it's so interesting, the parallels that happen in my life. So that specific production for me was very unique. Just to be able to act and dance, plus use my signing capabilities to use all three elements. I feel like that was my peak as Alexandria. I was like, okay, yes, this is my niche. Yeah. This is my home. This is where I'm at.
You've worked on so hard on, developing these characters. And that specific character, as I've experienced with your choreographer. Look, y'all, she is an incredible choreographer. It's choreography. You've directed. What made you start writing? You wanted to bring the life, the talents to the stage.
Well, yeah, so that's a good question. I'm not sure how to answer that, but I'm still exploring the various perspectives that exist. I did grow up dancing, choreographing, directing, and now as a writer, I feel like everything gives you an opportunity to grow, to learn. And that's just my tendency as Alexandria. I absorb everything and then I explore and analyze and put that as a drink. So just recently, actually, this year, I have a few short plays that I've already put out there. Deaf Spotlight had a short film festival called Other that I did. Other, yes.
Other.
So it's about 4 women, and 3 of them are of color, and 1 is a white female. So it's an autobiography of my life, but in different facets of the play. So I wanted to use that short version and expand it and make it a full-length play, because that was something that I wanted to see more representation. I wanted to talk about more of stereotypes, and I wanted to show more representation. I wanted to say, here, there are BIPOC artists, and there's no original work yet. I'm slowly getting there, and I'm looking forward to that in the future. And there are other plays that I've been doing. We'll see where that goes. while I'm writing, I'm thinking about people. I'm thinking, who do I want to write for? How can I make sure that they see me, see my heart, see my light? And I want that to be transcended in their spirit.
Yeah, you're an incredible artist. You're an advocate. You're one of the few biracial, deaf artists, advocates that I've met. I mean, I got several hearing friends that are biracial. You know, they explain growing up that, you know, they kind of going back and forth, being, not having that, being able to blend in as being black or white. It's tough. Trying to figure out different ways of supporting the community. Giving them something. Have you ever had that experience where you question yourself, question how to support people? From a deaf perspective, I don't know.
No, I'm gonna be blunt. No, I was clear as day. I'm like, hey, I'm biracial. I got both worlds in me. And again, I have to thank my parents because they put a lot of value in me. Hate was never acceptable.
Hate, okay.
Yeah, hate was not acceptable. I think everyone in their families, have that racist relative possibly. And I saw how my parents dealt with that growing up. And I felt, okay, I understand what's going on. I never felt, oh, I had to pick being more white. I had to pick being more black. But because I do pass often, people will say, they'll say inappropriate comments. And I say, hey, don't try me. This is not it. Just honor it. Just honor who I am. There's no place for that in the world. Don't start with me, and it don't start with you. So let's just take a step back. So that was important for me. How do I advocate? And I didn't want to be a bystander. And I always try to remind people who are more privileged in their life, not to take them down, not to put them down, but just to remind them. And I often have to remind myself. And I think it's good to remind each other. We have this gift, this blessing, this space. We have the finance, whatever it is that got you here. How do you use it to be the better version of yourself? And if that means reading, learning, then do it. Do it.
Yes, definitely. You have to, it starts with our parents, exposing children as they grow. The child becomes an adult and looks at a person like, oh, they've been ingrained to be, they feel weird. And it's hard to accept who they are. So growing up as a child, so we got to shake it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They try, they try.
Yeah, it like disrupts their demon inside. They're like, ooh, what is that? It's already in them. It's hard when building up our self-esteem when we've been brought down for so long. People, please start with the children. You don't have to coddle them. No, get them out, expose them to everything. That will make them a better human, better world. It'll be better for them. Who's your hero? Or
So there's so many heroes that I can name, and there's some that I can't name. I think my heroes are my ancestors. You know, my DNA. They're my DNA. They're inside of me. So those are my heroes. And for different reasons, I have people that I look up to. And you are one, Antoine.
no.
Yes, you are. Because you advocate, you move through the world with your soul. You're interested in creating more space to allow for more voices, to allow for more understanding and learning. And that to me is amazing. I know that you do really care about people and the way every being exists. So I'm looking at one right now. You're my hero.
Oh, I'm blessed because I've had the opportunity of meeting wonderful people like you. Now, do you kind of welcome me in Pennsylvania? It's not something that I've gotten before. It wasn't a type of conversation where you engage with a person. There's no money worth. You go to some places and people are standoffish. But y'all in Pennsylvania, you guys are nice, amazing. So the next segment of our show is people which love it. It's called Name Those People. Some of these.
Right.
So are we ready to play? Name those people.
All right. Wish me good luck. Okay.
You see? No?
No.
I don't want to give away the names yet. Okay.
Okay.
So this is how the game runs. You can either, if you know their name, sure, or you can give, their description of what they do. So first we'll provide a visual description. One moment. Visual description is a picture of an African-American female, low-cut hair, wearing a white V-neck shirt, looking artistically at the camera. Who is she?
That is our brilliant, beautiful artist, person, friend, Michelle Banks.
Yes, Michelle Banks. She's an award-winning actress, writer, director, producer, choreographer.
She's brilliant.
I love the show that she was on, Girlfriends.
Right now, she is running VOCA. It's a visionary of creative arts program that she's running.
This visual description is a picture of an African-American male, appears with his pulled back hairstyle that looks a lot like braids, black thin mustache, has a pair of sunglasses with gold jewelry, bug in the center, matching his gold rope necklace, wears a red, blue, black sweater, looks at the camera looking sincere. Who is he?
For shizzle, that is Snoop Dogg.
Yep, Snoop Dogg. Snoop Doggy Dogg is Snoop Lion, is an American rapper, singer, songwriter, producer, media personality. Yeah, he's the kings of the doggies. Next picture is a picture of an African-American male. Has a flat, low haircut. He wears in his full suit, jacket, vest, pants, and a navy, including a white collar, with a popping purple tie matching to his jacket, pocket tissue on his right, a pin invisible on his left of his jacket suit. Who is he?
I think it's Harper somewhere. I think the name is Harper somewhere. I know he's an actor. He's also, what's the right term for this? He's a spiritual leader, but he also provides counsel. I believe he's a life coach also. I read something about him. I thought it was cool. I know he's an artist. He's an actor, entrepreneur. He does a lot of things.
Let's see. Ooh,
Ooh,
Harper.
yes. I knew it was Harper.
Okay. He's an American actor, author. He was in Hill. Is known for his roles in CSI, New York, Limitless. He's a June 1st, Hill and his partners with launch of the first Black-owned digital wallet. And an app under the Black Wall Street.
Oh, I love that.
Visual description, a picture of African-American male, has a black curly short haircut, wearing a pair of black framed eyeglasses, a black thin goatee, and a dark gray jacket with a white collar under. He looks at the camera appearing so happy with a smile. Who is he?
Oh, he's another brilliant artist. This is Jeremy Lee Stone. He's also in The Sound of Metal.
Ooh, oh, right. I didn't even have to give his introduction, but yes, he's from New York. Yeah, he was in The Sound of Metal. He's the founder of American Sign Language Elements. People are confused if he was deaf or hearing.
Yeah, he's deaf.
Right?
And his poetry in ASL is beautiful.
Picture of an African-American female appears in a long black straight hairstyle over her shoulders, wearing a dark red V blouse with a small silver earring on her right ear. She's glanced at the camera on the left, smiling. Who is she?
This one is challenging. She looks familiar. I'm not sure.
3, 2.
I feel like she's definitely an artist for sure. That I know for sure. All right, give it to me. School me. Teach me something.
Yes. She's in American films, television actress. She's known for several movies. For example, Set It Off, Beloved, and The Diary of a Mad Black Woman. She was in Soul Food, Hawthorne. She was in the movie The Star, and a 4-time NAACP Image Award winner.
Wow, that's awesome.
This one's tough. This is tough.
I know.
The description is a picture of an African-American male, appears in a black neck turtle with a black suit jacket, wearing in a black thin flat low haircut and a pair of black framed glasses. Who is she? Who is he?
This is Tyler Perry.
Yep. Native of New Orleans, is an American actor, director, producer, screenwriter. Yeah, he's in the famous role Medea, tough elderly woman. He's included in the Time magazine as 100 of the most influential people of 2020. He also has a large studio.
Yes, it's huge.
I think he's one of the first. I think he has one of the largest film studios.
Oh, sorry. And also, Tyler Perry wrote a lot of his work, and he put it on stage, and then he got into making movies. So it's crazy how that happens.
Visual description: picture of an African American woman. Female appears in her hair, soft, short, thick brown afro hairstyle, glow with her silver hoop earrings, matching to her green short sleeve blouse. She looks up at the camera.
It's a beautiful picture. Okay, so I think she's definitely an artist. Okay, I think she's an actress.
Yeah, she's from Compton.
Really? Oh.
She was bitten by the acting bug in 2009, stemming from her love of storytelling as a child. She not only loves acting, she loves cooking and sharing art with the people. She was recently on Deaf Woke. She's also a deaf blind actress. She's part of the SAG community.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to working with her. Hey.
Visual description: a picture of African-American male appears in a black short afro haircut, wearing a pair of black thick frame eyeglasses, black smoky thin trimmed goatee, and he wears in a nice formal black suit jacket with a black button so close and a fresh white collar and under, sitting and folding his hands in front and on top on the table looking at the camera.
That's definitely Billy Porter.
There's no question about that one, huh?
I mean, he's the best. He's amazing.
He's also from Pennsylvania as well. He's an American actor, singer, style icon. Graduated from Carnegie Mellon University School of Drama. And he's achieved fame in performing in several different things. He was on Broadway, starting a solo career, drag, Time Magazine, 100 Most Influential People.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite lines is, be on time. It means what? Show up early.
Amen to that.
Visual picture is a picture of African-American female, appears with her full wave, long, short, dark brown hairstyle over her shoulders. She has a gray, smoky leather jacket on with a blue and white star-spotted ruffled blouse. Who is she?
She's my dear friend, Natasha O'Feely.
Yes, she's an actress and a writer as well. Deaf, yes. First generation African American, grew up with strong influence from her mother, who immigrated from Sierra Leone, West Africa. Natasha's film writings are also known by You and Me in 2018, the Spider-Man, Miles Morales in 2020.
Yeah, it's a video game, and she's signing in it, and it's so beautifully depicted.
Last one.
Okay. Oh yes, I love her.
The description: a picture of an African American female wears in her long, loosely curly hairstyle. Over the shoulders, a pair of silver medium hoop earrings and a gold and bronze gems bracelet on her right hand, matching her brown, orange, red cream blouse. Who is she?
I think her last name something with Renee. I know she's in Hamilton.
Yep, Renee Ellis Goldsberry.
Yes, Goldsberry.
She's an actress. You know all the deaf actors? Yeah, hearing too. Jeez.
I'm right. I've been around for a while.
She was involved in the musical Hamilton. She's on Broadway plays. She's an award-winning actress. She's in a soap opera, she's a soap opera daytime. TV shows One Life to Live. I used to watch her all the time.
Oh my God. When I was young, I used to watch Days of Our Lives. That was one of my TV obsessions. Now I'm like, okay, on to the next. I mean, it was a phase.
She's also in The Good Wife.
Yes.
I mean, we can do this all night about history, but I don't want to take too much of your time. I want to give the opportunity to the audience to ask you some questions.
Yes, please.
All right, people. This is the time to ask Alexandra anything. Come on, bring the questions.
Give it to me.
Okay, I want to give you fair warning. Miss Alexandra, some of these questions could be tough.
All right. Yes, yes, she's correct. Patty is correct in Chicago.
Here's a question. Where can we find more information on Other?
Yeah, so it's a short play. I wrote it. I will be showing it this summer in July, I believe. I forget which weekend. I think it's July 15th, 16th, and 17th. It'll be demonstrated in the Deaf Festival, and they'll have different short plays. So, keep an eye out for the details, but it'll be out there in July. And then it'll be shown virtually, which was an interesting experience to do everything through Zoom. For me, it was challenging, but we did it. That's most important. And I learned a lot. I think the biggest thing that we learned was sometimes technology, can be really awesome. And sometimes it's like, we can't do this. So we have to be okay with it. We have to work with it,
Question. Have you ever had trouble working with hearing actors?
Not too much. I haven't really interacted a lot with hearing actors, but just the level of communicating, because not everyone knows how to sign, whether they're hearing or deaf. So it does become a little bit more laborious for me specifically. So when I am doing a show and I want to focus on myself and making sure that I'm doing my job as an artist, as an actor, I know that I can't always be in the space and make sure everyone is in the know. So for me, it's like, do I have issues with deaf actors? I mean, it really depends on the people, the personality, what the project is. It really depends. I mean, I have a lot of good experiences, so that's a good thing. And then, I've had some not so great ones, but very little.
It doesn't matter, being involved. I've been involved in acting. Hearing interpreters, forget their script, and then I forget what they, I can't hear what they say, and then I don't want to feel, a certain way. So then I keep this show and going. So I just kind of I transitioned into dancing because that was easier to follow.
Which is true.
I couldn't fix the problem.
So I have several examples of an instance for Big River on Broadway that I was a part of. There was one scene later in the play where there was a funeral, and my character, there were two sisters. I played a sister. There were two love interests. So there's like deaf actors and hearing actors. One actor just started learning how to sign just for that show. Prior to that, they had no knowledge of ASL. They completely forgot their line. They were signing it, but they just forgot their line. And I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen now? The audience is just like waiting, like what's going to happen? And the actor was really trying to remember, like, what's the sign for this? So he was just throwing out signs. Someday and we were just like, okay. And it was a crazy moment. And I think for me, that was an amazing moment, because so often when hearing people, or when we forget our lines, hearing people are just like, ugh. And then we see actors who are so adamant about getting their lines done in ASL, making sure that they don't forget. And then you just develop this really good relationship with them. And it's interesting to see how people act under pressure. And I've seen experiences where people have just like, goodbye, I'm done with this. And then I've seen people who are so good at improv, and it's really amazing.
Question is, how do you feel about hearing actors being casted in deaf roles?
It ain't cool. No, I don't like it.
Oh, that's the answer. Come on, that's what directors should be thinking about when casting.
Yes, and that's something that I've learned over the years. I've seen a lot, and especially the past 5 years, it could be longer, but a lot more people are starting to realize that it's no longer acceptable to cast hearing actors for deaf roles. Just don't do it. So if and when deaf people, actors, have an equal playing field within this world of acting, if I'm allowed to play a doctor, if I'm allowed to play so many different roles, then you can say it's just acting. But to use that as just acting, okay, what do you think I'm trying to do? So, I mean, there is a shift right now, and I'm not a fan of that approach. So I try to look at it by a case-by-case situation. But also, I do want to say I find myself in a position where it's already been, like, they've already casted the actor. And some people have tried. I've seen people try to encourage directors and the writers and the producers and the studio and all of the people that come up from above and say, hey, you know, we should really cast someone deaf. And it's really, my goal is to see how I can impact them and how I can shift their perspective. And so I have the room to come and teach sometime and educate. And some people are just like, you know, if you are just yelling at them and just preaching at them, they'll shut down. So other times you just have to kind of go with the ebb and flow and throw in some teachings in there. And then they'll look at themselves and say, okay, all right, I see what you're doing. I acknowledge that. You know, it's not always instant gratification.
So Amy asks, how has the pandemic changed your creative goals for maybe 1 or 3 years? Perhaps a combo of virtual and on-stage work?
Oh, that's an interesting question. That's a good question, Amy. So for a long time as a choreographer, director, I've always been open to a hybrid kind of approach of using creative media. And most people looked at me like, Alexandra, what is you doing? And I'm like, okay, fine. All right. Maybe we're not ready for that kind of thing. You know, that's fine. So I think what's interesting for the past year, you know, people have been forced to adapt to that change. And once you're being forced, sometimes you're either saying, no, I don't want to adapt to it, or you're more willing to adapt to it and saying, okay, you know what, let's do this. Now, obviously, I prefer working in person, but I also don't want to just discard working virtually, because I've reached out with so many people during this entire pandemic. Like, Antoine, I'm here with you right now. We're chatting. Right? I mean, yeah. So it's really unique, and I really cherish those moments.
So Patty Lang has asked, how can we support more BIPOC artists and their work? And I want to add, you know, hearing and deaf.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that we need to consider. Mentorship. And it doesn't always have to be things about age. Sometimes young people teach you things that you just never realized. But we need to be open. We don't know who our teacher is going to be. I've seen a lot of my peers. I look at it as peers. We're supporting each other through this entire process. So I think mentorship is a really vital thing, and creating space where artists can show up and start using their creativity. From my experience, from what I've seen, there is a double standard where if you are BIPOC, a woman, or gender neutral, non-binary, The point is, if you're not a white male, if you are not a white male, you are not allowed to make mistakes and learn, and you have to get it right the first time. That's the philosophy, and that's a lot of pressure. When artists grow, when they envision things, when they create, we need to allow them to experiment, to explore, to engage, to support one another. I think creating that space that allows for that level of creativity to cultivate and to elevate itself, we'll see the results. And they're good results. And if you fuck this up, this is over. You'll have to wait 5 years. And it's just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, that's just taking it too far. Right? I mean, and having money helps too. Can't deny that. I mean, that's always the case.
True, yeah. Audience, if you got some more questions, the time is now. She has so much knowledge. I think you'd already mentioned something about your next project, writing, playwriting. Do you have a larger project that you're working on?
I do.
Big project you're working on.
I mean, it's approaching. It's with an organization in New York City. It's called Arsenova. So with everything being done online, prior to the pandemic, there was a space for new works, for people to exhibit their shows, for people to exhibit their dance projects. There was a lot that was done. And then sometimes it was brought over to Broadway. So it's an off-Broadway space where people can experiment. It's such a really cool process. And then, so next month, I will be a part of a good colleague of mine and a friend. They have a vision, and they're doing a residency right now with Arsenova, and with several artists that would like to work with them. And I was picked also to work with them. And I've been casting other BIPOC artists. We have decided to make a presentation on May 14th at 7 Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m.
7 p.m.?
Yes, 7 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that would be 4 for you, Antoine.
Okay, thanks. I'll be there to watch.
I'm also working on the staging for a workshop for a new original piece by Gallaudet, a student from Gallaudet. So May is a busy month for me.
Clearly. You're always busy. You're doing this, you're doing that. Trying to impact the community. I love it. If the audience does have any more questions, then I would love to hear your final thought. What's something that you just need? Oh, wait.
There's always that one that creeps up on you.
Question is, how do you juggle your work, your passions, and self-care?
Yeah, I'm hairless right now. Honestly, it's okay. Okay, so if I give you a more elaborate answer, I think what I always try to remind myself, as all of you should as well, there's only one of you. So take care of yourself. Take care of your spirit. Take care of your heart. Take care of your body, your mind. Whatever that may mean, if it means to eat better, eat well, do what you love. And what you do will always come back to you. And also make sure you get enough sleep. I enjoy sleeping and I try my best to get sleep.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, you have to try. And sometimes you just have to set aside some things. For instance, work, you have to set it aside sometimes. You have to prioritize. A lot of my work is my passion. So I'm doing what I love, and I love what I do. So that's important to me. Once you find that, it won't always happen where you'll feel so overwhelmed, but you'll see that your path, your journey is there, is existing. And a lot of my friends say, you know, sometimes when you're walking towards that path, sometimes you have to step off. And it's okay to step off and keep walking aside that path. And once you walk away from that path, you know, you got to bring yourself back towards that path. So give yourself permission to guide your inner self. Even though, you know, if you're not aware of what you want to do, what you want to be, you kind of do already know, based on what you're doing and what you're deciding, and just present the best you.
You know, in African dance, they have step forward, step back, step forward, step back. So sometimes when you're moving forward, sometimes you got to step back.
Right.
You know, sometimes you take 2 steps back, you got to take 2 steps, you got to take a step back. You know, it's, you know, the part of the life process. You know,
Yes, absolutely.
Breathe.
Yeah, embrace it. You just have to embrace the process and the journey, and always remember where you are. Sometimes I forget to remind myself, like, girl, you've done so much. You've done a lot. And I'm like, okay, yes, you're right. You're right. What's next? And then I'm like, okay, maybe I need to take a step back.
I think Patty wants to know, which playwright by your favorite Black author is your favorite? Which play written by your favorite Black author is your favorite?
Oh, wait, I want to hear yours. Wait, can I hear yours?
I don't know.
Okay, Anna Smith.
Mm-hmm.
She's a person who typically plays multiple characters, and she incorporates a lot of her life stories into her role. And her performance is really amazing. She's an amazing artist. But which specific play? I'm thinking there's one that's called Bridge Tunnel. I also like August Wilson. I love his work. Yeah, so there's a lot of authors that I like. An author by the last name of Parks. There's heavy stuff there. I have something over there that I don't want to mess up the title. I have the book over there, but I don't want to mess up the title. It's a long title. It's The Last Black Man. Oh, I forgot the name of it. But from what I remember was watching it and being so fascinated by how the author was just able to cultivate our history and pick events and then just put that in figures, specific types of figures, and then seeing how those figures interacted. It was deep, but it was really amazing.
I don't know. You're looking like I may want to read it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll lend it to you. I didn't want to give you the wrong title. It's powerful. You know, those are the stories that we need to know more of.
Oh, we got the name of it. It's called The Death of a Black Man.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I think that is it. Yes, Susie Laurie Parks. It's amazing.
Email me that one. Yeah, the way you articulated that sounds deep.
Yeah, it's really deep, and I think I'm still learning who the authors are. And there's another author that I love. And I just, I've read so many books and I'm like, oh, so impacted by the story.
So, those who are watching tonight, Alexandra has such rich experience. I mean, you can't give everything tonight, My advice for you, members of those who are tuning in, to follow Alexandra. Her social medias, you can find her handles at IG is Alexandria Wailes Official. That is at ALEXANDRIAWAILESOFFICIAL. Facebook at MELOBELLE. And over at Twitter, it's at AJKWAILES. She has several more stories to tell, experience things that you may not expect. Yeah, you'll see it and you'll be like, oh, I wasn't expecting that from Alexandra. She'll keep you on your toes. So if you want to be floored, like me, I'm just blown away. So thank you so much. Before tonight's finish, share with the audience, your final thoughts. Something, just something. Give them something.
In the words of Billy Porter, be you. Be you. Keep learning who you are. Keep learning what gives you joy, what excites you. And keep learning about what needs improvement. If we all contribute to elevating our community, and if we expect one person to do all of the work, it doesn't work that way. Today is Earth Day. The Earth needs everyone to contribute to save it. Not just Earth, but ourselves too. So keep thriving. Keep taking care of your heart and your soul.
Yeah. Woo!
Now let's dance.
Okay, yeah, let's dance. That was inspiring what you said. Thank you. Thank you for coming to Deaf Woke.
It was an honor.
We really got a window into who you are. You really opened me up. So, we'll have to chat on a different time.
Anytime.
And I really appreciate your authenticity, being authentic. Sharing, representing you, your experience. It's been an honor to have you tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. Did y'all know who that was? Y'all know who that is? That's Alexandra. Ooh. Amazing human. I hope you learned a lot, because I did. The story of being biracial and not having to pick sides, whether she was deaf community, hearing community, but that she was exposed as a younger child. And she was already accepting who she was. And there was no question. She didn't have to question herself. She only questioned how far she can go. Discipline, training, picking up things here and there. That hands-on experience. Learning the talents that she has. You got to risk it. Educate yourself. Yeah, like we need to keep that open door for each other. We need to keep that open door. Hold hands going through it with one another. You know, some people don't even know how to hold hands. People don't know how to respect another's identity. You know, that fire inside that Alexandra shared with us. You know, it's that fire, that warmth of love. And it's like she said, be you. Love you. You gotta love each other. So I want to say thank you. Thank you, Alexandra, for sharing your story. And thank you, audience. Thank you for coming. So obvious. Thank you. Thank you, Alexandra. Thank you to the interpreters. Thank you to Jay, the interpreter. Thank you to... We ain't slowing down. Our hands are on fire. So thank you. Thank you to Hal Round for partnering with us, Drop Labs, and thank you for watching this evening. So if you love it, come on, give us some love. Likes. Look, the show does not operate freely. Please, we encourage your donations. I want to emphasize, hashtag stop the Asian hate. Also, just stop the abuse. Come on, where are our likes at? Where are our hearts at? Come on. Where they at? I appreciate you, all of you, for listening in a different way. Not just with your eyes or with your ears, no, with your soul. I really appreciate you. Okay. And that was my final thought. So peace, love, and I'm out. Let's put some music on.